lovely people, this is Kitten here. Those of you who are a bit nervous about your knitting might not want to watch this bit because you need nerves of steel to do this. This is stuntman level stuff. If you, like, I can see the sweat coming out already. You're doing your knitting, you've been watching the telly and your sleeve's 2 inches too long. The other methods that I'm going to show you today of taking back won't work, so you actually have to do that and you have to do that. This is Kitten. I help beginners do their knitting and get out of trouble, and since we've made this trouble, we better get out of it, haven't we?
Down a little alley in the heart of Kendal town is a tiny independent yarn shop. Welcome to the wonderful world of the kitten and the goat.
Right, before we get into unpicking, actually taking out stitches, we're going to have a little bit of a look at how the stitch actually sits on the needle. It'll make sense later on. When you go in to do your knitting, you will find this bit is slightly in front of this bit. It helps you pick it up easily. It's right there in front of your needle. And the same thing works if you're going back purling. The bit in front of you is right in front of your needle, right here, and it's set in front of the one at the back. Okay, that is how the stitches sit on the needle when you're ready to work them. Now, if you just want to take 1 or 2 stitches out, you realise you should have been purling when you should have been planing or whatever. It's very simple. You take the point of this needle, you put it into that stitch, and you just slip that stitch out, and it finishes where it should be. So you can go along like that if you're only doing a few stitches. That gets a bit slow and cumbersome if you need to get to the end of the row quickly. So the quickest way, you can just plod along like that. The quickest way to unpick quickly if you're going to take out a whole row or a couple of rows is to turn it round, put tension on where your stitches go through. Sorry, I've got a trapped nerve in my shoulder and that's a bit struggly here. Aim this point through the needle and you can go back and forwards several times. It's much quicker. You can do several at a time. Now this is where you need to know how the stitch should look on the needle, because when you turn round and you need to work them again, let's work out where I'm supposed to be. That's not supposed to be there, that's on that. You look at your first stitch, that's fine. That little bit's in the front, that's easy enough to look. Oh gosh, easy enough to get through and knit. You look at your next stitch, and can you see how that's turned on the needle because I unpicked it in a slightly different way? The back of the stitch is at the front. You don't want that. What you need to do is pick it up and turn it round, and then you've actually got the front of the stitch there to get into. That one's right. It's where I did 2 or 3 together. We want to turn that stitch round and we knit into it, and we knit along. Oh, there's another one. Once you get into a rhythm of it, you will see it's quite obvious when you're thinking, oh, hang on, why can't I get my point of my needle through there? Because it's at the wrong place. You just need to turn it round and then you're in the right place. So, oh, there's another one. You see, it just doesn't work, just naturally doesn't work. Turn it round and then you can knit into it. Turn it round, knit into it. There is a technique called knit into the back of the stitch, and it turns the stitch round. It twists the stitch on the needle, so you don't want to be doing that. You just want to be going along, getting everything lined up. Okay, I'm going to have to rest before I do the next bit because my shoulder is getting a bit painful. I'll come back and do a big series unpicking in a minute. Now, honestly, seriously, if you've sat and knitted the back of a jumper and you've got carried away and it's a couple of inches too long, the other ways I've shown you to take knitting out are going to take too long. You just have to slide the needle out and take it back. There's no alternative. Nothing bad is going to happen. People worry that if they take the needle out, it's all going to fall to pieces. Look, it is not going to fall to pieces. I promise. What you need to do is get it back on the needle before we cause any big damage. Now, it doesn't matter where you start. Start at an end and put your needle back through the stitches. At this point, it doesn't matter how you get your stitches back on the needle, remember, because we know how to put it right when we get there. At this point, just work along and get those stitches back on the needle. Try and get them all back on the needle. If you split one, it's not the end of the world. If you drop one, we can put it right when we go along the line again to correct it. See, this is a good quality acrylic. Stitches hold their shape and it doesn't get droopy and baggy. Looks a bit dark in this corner. I've got the spotlight on, but perhaps I need to get another light. If the top stitch drops too much, you can't get it, just go into the one underneath. Do not worry, we will put it right further down. Get these little stitches back on the needle. We're going to go back a little bit more so we can put the stitches right, get them the right way round. Let's drop one for fun, shall we? Oh dear, am I giving you heart palpitations? I do apologise. It's knitting. It's not the end of the world. We'll work it out. We will work it out. Right, now that's where I've got to. There we go. I'm at the end of the row. Right. Okay. So here we go. That's that odd one there. That's fine. So let's put that back on. Right, so we've taken back. Now this row, I am going to take it back and we can correct mistakes that we've made. We can just go in like that make sure we've got all our stitches where they should be. That's where we've dropped one. Right. Catch it where you've dropped it. With your right side facing, this is the loop, the thread that it's come out of. You put it over there and you knit it. Turn it so it sits on the needle properly. Okay. And we're going back like that. I prefer to do this. You don't have to. You could immediately go back and start knitting. I prefer to go back because sometimes if you're unpicking hundreds of stitches, yeah, if you're doing a cardigan or a jumper, it can easily be well over 100, especially if you're doing it in the round. It could be 200. I just like to organise it and tidy it and know I've got everything square and straight and back where it should be. See how it just slides out? There's no effort involved. Oops, daisies. Oh, like that. So we unpicked this and we got it back on the needles reasonably efficiently with only a couple of little hang-ups, and that is a sign of a quality yarn, I'm afraid. If you drop it and they go all over the place, you know, a good yarn is stable. Okay, so we've got to the end of the line. Check your measurements to make sure you've got the right length. You might have to do that again if you need to take out a bit more. It's fine to take out a row, possibly 2 rows like that, but if you're going to take out an inch like that, it takes forever and it's a real pain. So now we're going to purl this row. We're going to look at the stitches. We need to turn that stitch round like that. And what I do, because I've been doing this a little while, is I don't, oops, sorry, I bumped it. It's the same action as putting it in there and turning it like that. So you put it in there and turn it round, yeah? You put it in there and turn it straight away. So we carry on like that. I think I'm going to carry on with this and then I'm going to use it as a sample. We'll just do a little bit more. I seem to be all skew-whiff doing this today anyway. So once you've done it, pretend we've got to the other end. There you go, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that anything in this. Oh, there's the delivery man. I've got to go. That's his favourite friend. So that's how you pick up. Sorry about the quick cut off, folks. Eddie gets so excited when his friends come in to see him. Honestly, this is what we've done. I've actually done a chunk more because I'm going to hang it on the baskets as a sample to see, because this is Wendy Supreme in blush. Beautiful. You can't see anything. You wouldn't know that I've taken that back and that I've done anything at all. It's just all even and beautifully flat. Okay. If there's any technique you want me to look at for you next month and coming months, just message me. It's always hard for me to think myself what people might be struggling with and what to do. So any ideas, just pop me a message and we'll have another technique for you next month. Cheerio! This little video is brought to you as part of our virtual knitting circle. If you join our email list, every month you will get a free knitting pattern pop through your email box. And that's it. You don't have to do any further action. You get a free pattern. I also upload on YouTube a little walkthrough of the pattern, various little tweaks, twiddles and things you might need to know to make it easier for you. And a fortnight later you get a technique video, usually builds on what we've just made, or it might be I discuss a design feature or something like that, just to build your knowledge bank and help you. If you want to go on and buy the kit, that's fantastic. It's all on the website. We have a website. If you want to buy yarns and wools from us, we'd be exceedingly grateful. We are a tiny little independent knitting shop doing the best to help you knit. See you soon.